information or opinions expressed by the host, co-host, and or guests on this podcast do not necessarily represent or reflect the views of our company, our sponsors, and advertisers. Please consult your attorneys, CPA, or business owners, advisors before making any business decision. Thank you. Hello, everyone. This is Jeamain Wicker with Small Business Stand Up, and I got some phenomenal entrepreneurs on a panel with me today. So, starting from Tamika, tell us what you do, your name, and what's the name of your company.
All right, my name is Tamika Wicker Slack. I am an independent financial insurance agent, and the name of our business is Team Level, Next Level Up, and we are out of St. Louis, Missouri, and we cover, actually, right now, we cover over 20 states. So we're licensed together between the rest of the agents. We're licensed in 20 states right now. Wow. 20 states. Yes. Wow. All right. You guys are busy over there. Oh, yes. All right. Ms. LaShay, tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, my name is LaShay LaRue, and I am a business development and marketing consultant. I'm the owner of Cherished Investments, and I help entrepreneurs to reach their target audience using content marketing, and I help them to create a plan in order to reach their financial goals.
Excellent. All right, Mr. Allahme, tell us a little bit about you, what you do, all that good stuff.
Hello, my name is Allahme A Dixon. I am the CEO and business consultant with Credit 909. What we do is we help entrepreneurs establish and structure their businesses so that they can be put in a position to qualify and get approval for business loan, business credit, and things of that nature. And then we also help individuals address and challenge things on their personal credit.
Excellent. And just last but not least, Ms. Danielle, tell us a little bit about you, Ms. Danielle.
Hello, I'm Danielle McArthur of DCDR Solutions. I'm a small business entrepreneurship coach. I utilize continuous improvement based methods to help entrepreneurs and small businesses streamline their business and set them up for success, focusing on foundational structure, standardization, and just, I call it expansion planning, thinking big and teaching them how to get there.
Excellent. All phenomenal. So you guys know me, man. I'm nobody. I'm just here for the ride, all that good stuff, man. So pull me up, man. Look me up. Small Business Stand Up, different platforms, all platforms. So look me up, guys. So listen. You know how I rock, man. I just jump right into this thing. So, again, y'all got to bear with me. I'm going to just tell everybody, I lost my questions. But I'm going to go off the dome, man. So, I'm going to hit you guys hard. So, let me know what you guys think about this. What do you think about this capitalist society, man? It's a hard one. So, what do you think about it? You think it was a socialist society, or will you still rock with capitalist society?
All right, I'll go.
Yeah. So, I hit you guys with that one.
I feel like, I don't know, that's a tough one because if people approach it right and you share the information and it was truly level, like a level playing field, I think it would be perfectly fine. Unfortunately, a lot of what we have wasn't based on a level playing field, and a lot of people are playing catch up. So, that's why you have folks like us that are trying to get out there. And I'm sure everybody on this podcast started theirs with the intention to educate and try to reach people and teach them things that they didn't know, because there's so much we don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it bad and evil, and and why people don't like it, because it's not a fair playing field. I'll let somebody else go before I don't want to take all of it.
I tell you what, anybody have a dictionary they can look it up. If you guys don't
Oh,
understand,
I can get my Sheila on.
let's pull it up. Let's read the definition, so that way the people in the audience can understand what we're talking about here. Even me. So break it down for me. And Tamika, I see you ready to answer, so I'm gonna go to you after this. So be ready.
So I got the first thing off of Google: capitalism, an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by the. So private owners, that could be anybody.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not quite spread evenly distributed.
Okay. All right. Tamika, you want to tackle that, or are you pulling back a little bit?
Well, I mean, I agree with Danielle. It would have been, easier if we were on a level playing field, but we're not. Even where we are today, right now in 2022, we are still not on a even playing field, level playing field. No matter how successful someone's business is, of our color, and I don't want to bring color into it, but if we're going to be honest, let's just keep it real.
Keep it fade.
Okay, so if we're going to be honest, it's still not an equal playing field, okay? Because we're right here, and it's still hard for us to get a small business loan. It's still hard for us to get certain grants, but another person can come into the United States, and right off the back of them coming into, they are handed everything to start their own business.
Wow.
So I have something that I want to comment on when it comes to that. Prior to this live, you asked us to watch a video by Dr. Claude Anderson. And there was something that he said in the video that I actually agree with a lot. And it's contradictory to the concept of equality, this idea that we have to operate in the system that we exist in and try to be equal within their system. The problem is that we don't have our own, where it's almost impossible for us to go into someone else's system, someone else's community, and demand equality. What Dr. Anderson was more so focusing on was the concept with Powernamics that we need to establish our own capitalistic society, our own community, the same way every other ethnicity does. If, like how you said, other people, they will come to this country and they have everything handed to them, who is the one who's handing it to them? Their community. While every other ethnicity has their own community base, we don't have anything outside of, as he said in the video, a neighborhood. You may have Black owned neighborhoods, but that's it. What about outside of that? What about Black owned businesses? And that's something that we lost with our fight for civil rights. Civil rights was us trying to fight to fit or to be considered equal to, our ethnic counterparts of the time. And that was the battle that kind of led to our demise to a certain extent, because prior to that, we did have Black communities, and Black communities were doing very well. That's when we had Black Wall Street, but a lot of people don't know Black Wall Street was a common thing, and it existed across the United States. Why? Because white communities did not want Black people to be their doctors, be their nurses. They didn't want to let us in the same establishments that they were. However, we still needed those services. So you would see Black care physicians, you would see Black business owners, because we weren't allowed in the white establishment. And it was seen by the white establishment that we were accumulating wealth at extremely high levels and very rapidly. And that's where they started to give in a lot more when it came to the civil rights, and where that, in my personal opinion, where that whole concept came from, because by making us try to create equality within their system, we lose the ability to create for ourselves, to support ourselves. So again, while other people are coming into this country and their community is giving them everything that they need to be successful, we have to get what is given to us. A lot of times it seems like to be Black in America is to be forced up under a socialist standard in a capitalistic society. We're not allowed within their capitalistic system because we don't have one of our own. So that's something that's what I got from the video. And I definitely agreed. It's something that I've had debates with people about, because as soon as you say something contradictory to civil rights, you know, people tend to get in their feelings, and I completely understand it. And I get where that comes from. But when you look at the history, when you look at the statistics, when you look at the data, as Dr. Claude Anderson brought up in his video, that back in the 1700s or 1800s, we were at just under 2% ownership or 1% ownership. Now we barely made it to 2%. So that's not exactly progress. So if the civil rights movement and what we were fighting for at that time was so great, why aren't we doing any better? We're fighting for food stamps, as he said. We're fighting for social programs, but we're not fighting for the establishment or the tools in order for us to build and create for ourselves, to support ourselves. We're basically allowing ourselves to be taken care of by the system. In the system, that's what socialism is. So for the people who say the problem is capitalism, no, the problem is not capitalism. The problem is we don't have our own capitalistic social system within this economy. We are operating under socialism. If you think socialism is so great, look at what the Black experience is. That is the definition of socialism. And it is not beneficial in any way, shape, or form. Getting food stamps is not helpful, because you will never be able to get off of those food stamps. The price of food goes up, price of gas goes up. And if all you're doing is working a job, collecting a paycheck, you are essentially the working poor. It is just a new variation of the same type of slave mentality and slave system that we operated in the beginning. They say that the slave system just transferred into the prison system, but I would argue that it also continued into this quote unquote capitalistic system that is really socialism when you are Black in America. They want you, if it makes no sense that if a woman has the father of her children in a household, she's not able to receive government assistance. So how's she ever supposed to get off of government assistance when it's nearly impossible to be able to provide for a family on one income? That doesn't make sense. This system is not created for us to be successful. The only way to be successful is to break out of that system and establish our own. And you do that through entrepreneurship.
Listen,
And
let's do this real quick. Let's do this real quick. I hate to put a pause on it for a second, but I have a friend of mine here, Miss Abby. She has to go, so I promised her to be able to get on here real quick and kind of tell us a little bit about what she got going on. Then we'll jump right on it. I promise you guys. Don't kill me. All right. So give me 1 second. Let me do this here. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
me?
How
are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm well. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Y'all clowning on me today, man. I don't know where my brother's at, but I'm going to get them together next week, though. For sure. But listen, I wanted to bring her on here real quick, man. I told her this was a while ago. She actually came, her and her husband came through my real estate training we was doing. And that was a little while ago. And I told her when I give my podcast, I got to interview you real quick. And I know she has to go, but I want to tell us a little bit about what she got going on real quick. And then she's going to go ahead and do her thing. So the floor is yours. Tell us a little bit about the haircut business you have going on.
First, thank you for having me. And ladies, hello again. My name is Abbyanderson, as introduced. I am the founder of a nonprofit organization where I provide free grooming services to the less fortunate. We were established in 2016, and we pretty much traveled state to state, city to city, international, providing free haircuts to people that are in need. It's been a blessing throughout these 6 years. We are at over 5,000 free haircuts. We had traveled to Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Mexico, Puerto Rico, 14 states. It's just been a blessing We actually was just gifted a building, so we are finally officially will have a place to call home to continue provide.
Wow.
Yeah, we were literally gifted by a doctor. We was out cutting hair one day, and it was a doctor that loved what we were doing, and he's into real estate as well. And he had an empty space, and he said, "Here, just." There was nobody but the grace of God, and it was something that I prayed for 6 years to have somewhere that we could call home, so we could continue our services, because it's bigger than just a haircut. We wanted to be able to provide services, resources, get people off of the street. And I am grateful because me being into real estate now, just graduated from Keller Williams to obtain my real estate license.
You and your husband both did, right?
Yes, we did. Yes.
At the same time.
Yep.
That's
So my goal with that is I want to be able to purchase property and get homeless veterans into homes.
Wow.
That was why I got into real estate. That was my reason why to getting into real estate.
Oh, huge, man. You guys are definitely an asset to the community. I know the people over there are proud of you guys, man. So let me show you guys. Let me go show you guys something real quick. So hopefully you guys can see this here. Let me see. You guys see that? Tell us a little bit about this, Abby.
Oh my goodness, the bus. Well, when we first became a nonprofit, we were operating outside of a van, and we would just put tables and chairs into a van, and then we were blessed to purchase a bus, and we just had the seats removed and everything, and we converted the bus into a mobile barbershop. So as you can see, it's a short school bus, and we just pretty much just travel with that bus and just to be a blessing to people. I love that bus.
That's dope right there. I got one more to show you guys though too. Hold on one second, let me pull this up. I love it. Tell us about this day right here. Let me see here. I'm trying to engineer stuff over here. I'm trying to make it happen over here. Tell us about this day.
Friend,
The Kelly Clarkson show, yes. Oh my God, Kelly, she is amazing. She is like amazing in real life. That was a blessing as well. We were flown out there to Los Angeles for the day, just to share our story. And Kelly Clarkson was amazing. We were so grateful to be on her show. That was amazing. Yeah, I love that.
What's your husband's name again?
My husband's name is Chris.
You gotta shout Chris out. Chris, what's up, man? We miss you, man.
He over there somewhere. He's like,
knock it out, man. I want to see you, man.
He's not good at I ain't even too very well at speaking and whatnot.
Hey. Let Chris know we appreciate you guys doing what you're doing. And telling you personally, I've been watching you guys. I see what you guys are doing, and it's to be commendable. You're not sitting back waiting on nothing to happen. You're making it happen. So kudos to you guys.
Are y'all on social media and whatnot? I'm talking right now.
We are. I don't know if I could put the information in the chat, or I don't know how. I guess I don't know.
Go ahead when you. I guess you could do it right here. You may have to log. I tell you what, go on the Facebook and sit on that, and I'll be able to post it up here where everybody can see it if you want to do it that way. Or you can do it in the chat too. It's up to you, however you want to do it.
Okay, because I guess I don't know how to do this. This is my first time doing this stuff.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, text it to me, and I'll put it up there for you.
Thank you,
Okay?
Jay.
Not a problem.
Your time. I mean, bringing me here and being able to share my story or our story with my husband and I and what we do for the community. And it doesn't take a lot to be a blessing to someone.
It doesn't take a lot.
It doesn't take a lot at all. We all a paycheck away from homelessness. So, we have to, love one another and be there for, each other at the end of the day. So
Absolutely.
It's a blessing to, be able to be there for people.
Absolutely. Hey, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for jumping on. And hey, continue much success, man. Keep killing it.
Thank you so much. I love you, ladies. It was nice to meet you, and whatever y'all have going on, much success and blessings to you all as well.
Thank you.
Don't find you on social media.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, guys. I know we had to break it up a little bit, so I had to get that in here real quick. So, all right. So we talked a little bit about where we at here: capitalism, society. So we just had to drop the mic moment from LaShay.
Yes.
So what's going on now?
I think that's what Malcolm X was promoting, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, a lot of people went against him, but that was his thing. Like, hey, build your equity in your community, right? And then we all have something to leverage. And I think that's the whole idea. You know, we go into banks and stuff, and we only have ourselves to leverage because we lack the community support behind us, truly, right? We have initiatives out there that promote that, but the essence of it is, are we really community, and what does that look like for us, you know, financially and otherwise? And you know, I think that when Malcolm X would speak, it was like this hatred against whites, and it's like, no, it's not that. It's more love of self and creating our own community. And like you said, LaShay, these other communities can come into, you know, the states and do it because they have a community behind them that's leveraging them, that's helping them, that's assisting them, that can do it themselves if the United States don't do it, and have leveraged laws to say, hey, we don't have to pay taxes for 7 years, or, you know, have been really creating these strategic plans for them to come in and infiltrate, you know, in our community. And the one thing you said about you know, we don't have a community, but there are communities that capitalize off of our social, you know,
Right.
off of our socialism, right? In some way, all of these communities, in some way, it's gaining financial stability off of us, right? If it's through, and I, you know, as a therapist at one point, I would tell my clients, you know, that DHS worker only has a job because you have a need, right?
Okay.
So it is so much happening because of the needs in our community. I mean, there are states that's getting funding dollars, millions and millions of dollars, because of our lackadaisical ability. But that money is not going back into our community in the rate it should, right? And so kudos to you. I mean, you said it all.
Yeah, and there are two things that you said that I like. The one thing that you said as far as our community and our needs, that also goes with our dollar too. So even the concept of, you know, for example, for Black women in hair, that is just a thing for us. Yet,
$1 billion industry.
thank you. Yet we own a small, minute portion, but that industry is literally built
Billions.
off of the need of Black women. There is no reason for us to not be more involved in these industries, and for us to, even to take it a step further, for us to not support each other once we do start a business. There are plenty of times that you'll see we've all seen this, a Black business that'll come up in the community, yet people will still choose to go towards the beauty supply store that's owned by someone else. And they'll always have a reason, but at the same time, when you go there, you're not necessarily treated well. We've all seen the stories of people who've been locked into stores and body slammed and just all kind of craziness, but yet you would rather jeopardize yourself or put yourself in a position to have that type of experience than to maybe spend $1 more at a Black owned business, $1 that would go back into your community. Meanwhile, other communities, they don't think that way. And that's something that Claude Anderson spoke about too, that there was a Black owner who was talking to an Asian gentleman and saying, hey, will you buy this product from me? I'll give you 20% discount. Will you buy this product from me? And the Asian gentleman's response was, no, I don't care if you give me a discount. I'm going to buy from my community, period. I don't care what it costs. Yes. And that's a mentality that we need to start adopting.
And until we get that mindset, we're going to always be the number one spenders out of everybody. Everybody build their wealth based off of our backs, man.
But I think we're trying to build individual wealth. To your point, LaShay, we're trying to build individual wealth. Like, you know, there's a concept like the more you buy, the less you buy it at, right? Danielle knows about this, right? So if we can in some way bring the Black women who are selling hair, like, can y'all make a conglomerate, put your money together, then you guys could, you know, buy this at a better price, and then now you can be compatible with, right?
Yes.
For these individuals over here who's selling this hair for cheaper. But I think it starts at the top. Like, we as entrepreneurs have to learn how to come together and say, okay, I'm doing this, you doing this. Let's put our money together. Let's buy it cheaper so we can, you know, gain more profitability from just, even if we sell it at the same rate, right? And we can do more with the profits in our community, right? And so it's a mindset that we have to take on as entrepreneurs if we want the consumers to take on.
And I want to piggyback because I know it's not for lack of trying. Because that's what it's like. You want to make sure the point is being across that, you know, there's so much capability, but the knowledge and everything and the mindset, we are still very enslaved in the mind. Like, it's weird. We got like PTSD when it comes to money from centuries, you know, not everybody. And so it's both sides, where it's like, if I'm an entrepreneur and I'm trying to reach out to you, they also need to be receptive to trying to help. Like, I've literally had people turn down free help, and it's like, what?
Me too.
Right. I've had that too.
But okay, before Allahme, do you have a point towards that, or I'm sorry?
You know what? I agree with what everyone was saying. Yeah, I have thoughts on, you know, the way things are, you know, but again, like I said, I agree with what everyone said. Like Sheila said, you know, we have people to come in our community and they're taking our dollars, and we're okay with it, you know, but and you look at on every corner, we have Asian beauty supply stores on every corner, and they are raping our communities, and they're taking our dollars. And I like I said, I really agree with what everyone is saying.
Absolutely.
And Jay, I wanted to make a point before we go on. And if you really look at the data when it comes to the food stamps and when it comes to the WIC and all of that, actually, it's not us that receive it.
Facts.
It's
Like,
not
people need
us.
to hear that.
Facts.
It's not us. They put it out there for everyone to believe that it's us, but it's not us. We're not the majority that receives it. So if we truly as a community really just change our mindset and our way of thinking and truly support, you know, put the attitudes aside, give real customer service. Right? Real customer service, you know, and then stop asking for a discount.
Man, what?
Your price is your price, because we pay the price everywhere else.
Right.
Today's price ain't yesterday's price.
Right. And Danielle, I'm with you, because we offer free services, and they will not take free services, free financial literacy, free credit cards, free this, free that, and they will not take it. And it's free. But then you want to go pay the other person who don't look like me.
Right.
You want to pay her to fix your credit. When I can tell you and show you how to do it for free, and you can keep that money in your pocket as a down payment for your mortgage, for the house that you want to buy. But you don't want to do that.
but like, I want to bring in this idea of it's called where it's very difficult for us to see ourselves in other people, right? So as therapists, we have to deal with the word is missing me, but we also, like, you could remind them of their aunt, right? You can remind them of their grandmother. You can remind them of a person that harmed them, and subconsciously, and this is what we have to educate ourselves with. But she ain't your auntie, right? She is the person that's holding the product that you desire to have. And so this transference of these emotions on our culture is really devastating our culture, right? Like, you know, even in friendships, like, you know, you could see somebody and they can remind you of the person, quote unquote, that cheated on your boyfriend with, and you just don't like her because she got the same energy or she got the same whatever. And we have to have enough emotional intelligence or learn emotional intelligence within our culture so that we can rise above the cloud and understand that this is a new experience for me and a new person. Tamika is not this person that I'm projecting on her to be, or LaShay is not that, or Danielle is not that, or Allahme is not that. And a lot of times, because we've been you know, psychoanalyzed and just pushed that the white culture is safe, you know, even though they're not, you know, we have to remind ourselves that that was programmed in you, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. That this is the person you go to for safety. This is the person you go to for shelter. And you did have a big mama that you went to for safety and shelter. You know, if that's going to be the image you project, then project that, you know, when we go to purchase and buy from each other. Oh, transference and countertransference. That's what it's called. Like, we're really doing this transference onto people. And it's like, I ain't never done nothing to you. Why are you mad at me? Right. But they're really transferring their experience. And we're talking about a community that really has went through a lot of issues, you know, and how do we come together and have intellectual conversations about the solutions to get us to heal as a community, but moreover, heal as individuals so we can come together, you know, as a community. But it's a lot of transference that just goes on in our community.
Let me drop this on you guys real quick. Remember, guys, it only takes, we need 20% of 20% to get the ball rolling, right? That's what we need. We're not talking about everybody coming together, because realistically, it's not going to happen. But if you get 20% of 20%,
that's projected, man. You got to speak it into existence, man.
You know, but that's what we need to get the ball rolling. But group economics is what we're speaking about, right? I've traveled a little bit around the country a little bit, right? So everywhere we go, we see it's a Chinatown, it's a little Italy, it's a little this, it's a little that. But I've never went and say, okay, this is all us over here. Even the bank, the hospital, I've never seen it. But the way that we do that is by group economics, guys. And it can start with us. Yeah. You got to start with the people across the country, right with us, man. How we pull together to do some different things. And what I learned about some people, a lot of people, right, they're followers. When they see the crowd going a certain way, they tend to get on that boat and go with us too. But if we all sitting there just kind of complaining about it, nothing changes. We just run out of air talking. You know what I'm saying? You got to put it into action, man. So what do you guys think about group economics?
I think it's important. I definitely think it's important. But you know what came up in my spirit? The story of Moses, right? He had to save these people who didn't really want to be saved, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and he had to deal with them worshiping other things. And, you know, and I think when we're called to do something, that is the struggle. Like, you calling me to do this thing, this conversation is necessary. We need to come together. I know this, but can you teach these people? Can you tell them too? You know, so that they can know too. You know what I mean? And a part of that struggle in us is that, like, we get wore down from trying to say the 80%, right? Or the 90%, because you're a part of the 10%. And then you're trying to find an Aaron, right? Like, a person that can come on this journey with you, that can give you support when you need it, and that you can support. And, you know, because like you said, you're going to have this is your culture. This is what they do, you know, and how do we let that go through us and not stifle what we feel like we were called to do? And I think that's a bigger question. Like, how do I dissolve this? Like, how do I absorb this? I mean, and still stay on my walk to do group economics, right? What do I need to do that? Do I need a therapist? Do I need a, you know, because I think so many of us give up, right? Because we get so much pushback, you know, but a part of them just not going to change. And if you were called to do it, I don't know, it's just do it, you know?
So, yeah, we all laugh when you said, do I need a therapist? But that's true, though. I feel like 90, I won't say 100%, but I'll say a good 99% Black people
Okay.
need some level of counseling
I
because
agree. I agree.
Black in America, it's not an easy thing. And again, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make that horse drink. And
No.
the idea that this quote unquote horse would rather starve and die than drink this water that is right in front of you, that is being handed to you. I think it was Tamika who said earlier that, you may even offer free service that can completely turn around a person's situation by having better credit. You can actually apply for loans, apply for a business loan, apply for a home loan. You can so much with that, but they would rather not take advantage of that or pay someone who doesn't look like them for that exact same service. And I think that it also is a psychological problem, this concept of whiteness as rightness.
Rightness.
If it ain't white, then it ain't
It
right.
ain't right.
And I don't want it. It can't be that good because it's not. And that's a major problem. The fact that a person, even if they don't say it, we've all seen it.
Yes.
It's a thing, and it's a very big problem. And that's a big psychological problem that needs to be addressed. So a person can think that they are the most emotionally stable human being on God's green earth, and they don't have any emotional baggage, but yet they still have that type of mindset. They still have the mindset to where they can be okay with being called the N-word at work and still work that job and give it 110%, and that's okay. But they don't want to work with a Black company because they feel like she gonna have an attitude and she thinks she better than everybody. Like, so, I mean, that may be true, but nobody is perfect. But yet, why are we willing to accept one? Why do we hold ourselves to that type of a standard? And that's not to say that we shouldn't hold ourselves to standard, but we have to agree that someone thinking that she's good in life compared to someone who flat out called you the N-word and really can't stand you because of your skin. Like, if we're a Libra, I'm a Libra, so if we're Libra scales, when I think we may be doing our math wrong on these topics here.
I gotta chime in on that one because Jay, I gotta piggyback off the one comment how you said you traveled and all that. That's what I love about Birmingham, because it's the closest thing I've ever been to. Like I said, Birmingham City is over 80% Black. Birmingham City, it's amazing. Now, granted, not all of it's owned, but it's just nice to walk into a bank. There are Black bank tellers, Black bank managers, Black cashiers, Black in certain neighborhoods that you can see it. And that's what it makes the dream real. And I wish more people would come to Birmingham. That's why I got so motivated to start. We want to help these businesses, because if it don't start here, if we lose Birmingham, it turns into Atlanta, where everybody think Atlanta the biggest. No, Birmingham's the most, highest concentration of Black people. But the same, it's what she said. They'll see me. I'm from the north. Oh, I don't want you to help me. You too light skinned. Doing
right. That one. Oh, I hate that. The light skin, dark skin battle. That's a whole nother thing.
You speak white. What? No, I speak English. Thank you. What are we talking about? Like, and it's just that, where is it coming from? And that's why I try to have these conversations. And unfortunately, the reality is they've been so abused down here. They're scared of any help. Because help came with, contingencies and all of this other stuff. And so they're like, nope, I got it. I'm good. And it's like, you're drowning right now. Nope, I'm good. And it's like, okay, here we go. It's so many levels and layers to it, but that group economics, if we can't start at Birmingham, I don't know where else we can start. I'm trying to save Birmingham. I gotta save Birmingham.
Well, I agree with Miss LaShay. I'm a Libra, so I get it. I totally get it. As far as what Miss Sheila said, as far as therapists, counseling, we as a Black generation feels as though we don't need therapy, we don't need counseling, because that's calling us, it's showing our vulnerability. Okay, it's saying that we're weak. It's saying that something is wrong with us. No, because back in the day, back in great grandma, we can fix everything. We just go in the medicine cabinet, or we go in the cupboards in the kitchen, and
Or we can pray. We just gonna pray it off.
We're gonna pray on everything, or we gonna whip up something, on the stove, and we're gonna pray. We're gonna bring the family together, and we're gonna pray about everything, and it's gonna work itself out. We don't go to no doctors, and we don't do stuff like that, and we don't talk about our problems. We keep everything in the house, and that's the problem now.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting because I'm going to South Africa in August, right? Johannesburg and Durban. And I'm going through my school. So if you guys don't know, I'm a PhD candidate. So I'm going to school for business psychology. And my last class, they wasn't offering it. So I said I was going to take it as a study abroad program. And so one of the exercises we have to do was the culture of South Africa. And I'm like researching this culture, and I'm thinking like racism only kind of exists like in America, like, in this way. But like reading about South Africa, like they actually created a colored culture, right? For a mixed race,
yes.
Right? So if you was mixed, you was called colored. If you were black, then you were black. And then if you was white, and if you was Japanese, I think you was black. And if you was Chinese, then you was white. Like, but they had it so down packed, like their racial structure, to keep the majority at bay, right? To keep themselves in minority. And it's just like, I don't know. It's liberating to experience this, right? Because it's not so personalized to our country. It is a universal, I don't want to say attack, but this oppression is universal. Like these individuals that are in control has always tried to stay in the majority for economic reasons, for power reasons, or whatever. And we're talking about a history of oppressive.
It was systematic.
Yeah.
So it's not by accident. It was a systematic, oppressive society that was created by all colonizers across all continents. Not countries, every continent.
Continents. I love that. Continent.
Yeah, so when you talk about white is right, like, it ain't just in America white is right.
Not.
Like, this is everywhere.
It's not. Because one of the largest purchasers of skin lightening cream is Africa. I mean, we all, and I feel like in America, just as you said, we have this concept that it's an American problem because we're living in our own world, but it really is something that exists everywhere. And in some other countries, honestly, they've been more, they've catered a lot more to their systems in creating and putting people into these boxes. I mean, places in Africa are just now getting their first Black leaders. That's crazy. That's insane. So it's definitely not just an American problem. It's a problem that definitely goes much deeper, but it was not an accident. It was systematic. And if it was a system that was created purposefully, it's going to take purposeful actions to change or get us out of that situation.
And I'm reading this book. It's called A Crime Story. The dude, did y'all know the guy? He's a light-skinned guy.
Trevor Noah, Born a Crime. I love that. Yes.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's so revelatory. He's talking about South Africa, but again, just thinking about how we live in America and thinking about how these people went strategically across the world and found these racial systems, found their gaps, and then created systems to avoid these gaps in South Africa, which is why they had like the colored and all of that. And if this is the country that we came from, it was in our DNA. You know what I mean? A lot of this healing that needs to come back to therapy and talking and really, being upfront about this is our issue. How are we going to solve it? And being more solution focused. Like, okay, we know where we came from. What's the vision for where we're going? And then what do we need to do to get there? You know what I mean? And it may take 3 or 4 or 5. You know what I mean? A percentage of the population. I think we're 13% of the population. So what's, a percentage of that? You know what I mean? That's going to actually have to make the conscious shifts that that's required to move our people forward.
Well, one of the things, man, we talked about the group economic thing, right? But still, man, all that stuff we was talking about, it is a fact, right? We are been held back for a lot of years, and a lot of times, a lot of stuff we've been held back is mentally or whatever. Because you can see people like where we from or whatever, right? I can go back to my hometown right now today, and the same guys that was hanging out at the store is probably still there. So they locked up mentally.
Yeah.
No longer cherries and bars, right? It's the mental is locked up. But us being in the U.S., man, U.S. is for sale. These people outside the country are coming here buying up every single thing, right under our noses,
Yeah.
right? Let me show you something real quick here. Let me see.
Yeah.
If America for sale, why are we buying it? You know, land is dirt cheap.
It is.
So we had this conversation.
Hey,
About
don't get started about this, about selling grandma's property. Why are we selling it more?
Was that me and you,
Why are
baby? Had this conversation? Oh my
Why
God.
are we selling our land? Period.
Not making no more land. Right?
Let's start there.
Let's say we want to have a come to Jesus meeting, right? For the hood, for the neighborhoods or whatever, the country in the hood or whatever, and start buying up some of that land. So when they get ready to start gentrification, gentrifying that area, you already have it bought up.
Right.
Why not, man? It's dirt cheap right now.
I done lot.
For a couple of grand, you can buy a couple of lots.
You sure can.
Buy a lot. Yes.
Go to the auction. Go to your auctions.
Now we talked about the mental aspect now. So who's in that situation? Us knowing that, who's holding us back now?
Ourselves.
I like Bree's concept last time when he was talking about the Ritz, right? The really coming together collectively and going into communities and saying, hey, we're going to buy that, right? We're going to buy these things collectively as a group of individuals, so we can buy it more, we can do more. You know?
Absolutely. Land is important to have land, man, because when, let's say, God forbid, man, they shut down the food source, right? We're going to get our food from, man.
And I think it's important.
And so no trees, man, to get no grain, the food feed ourselves, we're in trouble.
But it's another way.
It's patience, though. It's patience when it comes to land, too.
Right.
Because
that's true.
Communities, and these people have been sitting on this land for 20 years, 10 years, and we want immediate returns on things. And that's like a long-term investment. So like in the South, I think me and Danielle was talking, my grandfather, their family owned 100 acres, right? Each kid got a portion of that. And then when his parents, died off, then the kids kept it. And then when they started dying off, the grandkids started selling the land off, and it's like, wait, don't sell the land. Like, this is a lot of land that we can come together and own. But do we value land? Do we even know? Do we have a vision for what we can do with that land?
Think about it, though. Even in the big cities or whatever, you go out another 50 miles either way, it's going to be land there. You can easily go out for one weekend and say, let me go out here and do what I need to do and come back. And until you're growing up, corn or whatever you're going to do. So if something happens, you can take care of yourself. Land is important, man.
It is.
I want to go off of what Sheila was saying when it comes to the value and valuing the land that you have, because it's not enough just to own it. You have to truly know and appreciate the value of it, because land is one thing, but it's also land if you have a property on it as well. And you have to know the value of that. I recently visited a property that I was looking at investing in, and I was amazed that the seller, actually, it was an area, and so I'm in Houston, Texas, and it was an area that was in Fifth Ward, which is the quote-unquote hood area, but it's currently undergoing gentrification. Now, with gentrification, my problem with that is, why does it take for someone else to see the value in our land to come in and prove and uplift the quality of the properties? Why are we not doing that? So you have land, but you're not doing anything with it. And what I was amazed with this seller, they owned multiple properties on this block. They lived on this block, yet y'all haven't improved none of this. Like nothing. Now you're happy to take the double digits that you're going to get, or triple digits, from from the gentrification of the area of someone else coming in and improving it, but you're not even going to get nearly as much as the person that you're going to sell it to, who is going to improve the property because they know the value of it. And at the same time, you own a construction company. So you have the means, you have the finances, you clearly know that real estate is a vehicle to financial freedom, yet you refuse to put the time, energy, and effort into uplifting your own community that you actually live in. And he was pointing out all of these different properties. My grandmother stayed there. She actually died under that tree. And my uncle stayed 2 doors down. They own all this property. And I'm looking at the community like, you let your people live here like this? Because you don't live like this. Your house is nice, but you're okay with your people living like that's a problem. You have to know the value of what it is that you have, especially because we don't have much. No one else is starting off with less than what we are as Black people, but yet we don't mentally think about it in that way. You will fix up a property so that you can sell it to someone else, if you're going to fix it up at all. But what about the quality of living for the person who was living there at the time? What about that? You will still get your money back. If anything, it's going to increase the value of the property when you sell it. But why don't we think about it in those terms? Again, you may have made $100,000 off of this sale, but if you would have actually increased the value of that property, renovated that property, you could have got $1 million. That's not same land, but it's just what you chose to do with it. And we have to have that forethought. We have to have that vision. We have to think bigger. We can't just think small. Like how she was saying, it's a long game. Imagine if you renovated that property and you held on to it. Now we're talking generational wealth. Now we're talking, I had another family friend who had a property, and like you said, they had the property, it was in the family for generations, but then, grandparents passed, now they're selling the property. Now that same plot of land that you sold for a couple $100,000 is $1 million property, but that's somebody else's wealth that just got generated. Now, yes, you got a little bit of money here. That money gone. It went to cars. It went to all kind of things that do not bring
capital gains tax. All kind of stuff.
And I think, as good, as important of a question as it is, or as an issue for us to acquire land, because that is the best vehicle to financial freedom, we have to know the value of what we have. Because I've seen too many people throw away their families' generational wealth for pennies, for absolute pennies, just because they didn't have. Right. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
And actually, LaShay, you took my comment right out my mouth, because that's what I was going to say. They don't realize that land is actually generational wealth. That's where you start at, and you just continue to pass it down. Because what happens is, especially if you have a community, so when you have these underdeveloped communities, or these communities that has, went down because no one has taken care of them, at some point it's going to be some developer that wants to come in. But if you go ahead and you buy that land while it's at the auction and while it's dirt cheap, and you hold on to it, you have this, you hold on to it, or whatever, it can be generational wealth. Or if that developer wanted, he's going to have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. And when I say pay for it, I mean pay for it. And then you take whatever you can sold it for. So you can sold it for, 6 to 7 figures. You take that, you invest it into a mutual fund. You get what I'm saying? You create your portfolio.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But we need to teach this to our children.
Absolutely.
Or you can lease the land to them, right?
There we go. That way you have residual income coming in
all the time. Like, oh yeah, you can lease this for me on an under 100-year contract, right?
Yes. Put your stuff in writing.
Mm-hmm.
You
got to think bigger.
You got to think bigger.
Long term, right?
We need wheels. Quit writing stuff down on a piece of paper and a napkin and putting it in the shoebox.
Right.
I'm laughing. I've done it. I've done it. So,
Yeah, let me interject on something like that. There's a city out here in California by the name of Manhattan Beach. Okay, and so there was this couple, the Bruce couple, purchased Manhattan Beach back in 1912 for $1,250. They was forced off of that property by the Ku Klux Klan. It was completely taken away from them. So fast forward to today, they just gave the property back to the family.
The government took that land from them.
The government took it. They was forced off the
domain.
property.
They took it.
Ended up taking it and then put a park on it.
Mm-hmm.
They made a park on it. They just gave them back their property, and I believe that land now today is worth 700 and something million.
Right. And they're looking at selling it, which it's like, again, why are you trying to sell? Lease or turn it into an Airbnb? Why give away your family's legacy and generational wealth?
Yeah.
How many years?
This was they bought it in 1912.
1912, okay. Wow.
They bought it in 1912, and a few years later, they was forced off of the property.
Now, is that the same story about the family that was like allowing Black people to come in? It was a beach. It's a story like that about a beach, and they was allowing Black people to come and party on the beach and things like this. This was like back in segregation, and they took the government came in and took the beach from the people, and like the family had been fighting, and the same thing just happened. But I think that was in New York. Like they had a beach.
Yeah, it's a different one.
Yeah, this one with the Bruce family. I never heard of anything about them partying. Have you?
It's like it was like a beach though. This was like
well, it was so that strip of land, it was at one point a majority owned by Black people at that time, and then the government came in and called eminent domain, but it was just beachfront property and took all of that land. Yeah, but the problem, so this was actually funny that you mentioned Trevor Noah, because Trevor Noah did a special on this. And the fact is, over all this time, it's great that you gave it back, but in the meantime, in between time,
how much money you made?
A Caucasian persuasion owned that land and was able to reside on that property, and they were able to grow their wealth over all of this time. So now they've accumulated all their wealth, and now you're going to hand it back to the family that originally owned it. And I saw a comment over there. A person said, I'm not trying to sell anything. It has to be more money than I've ever seen before. But for most people, $7 million, however much the land is worth, that's more money than anyone has ever seen. But I guarantee you the people who own that property has seen that 10 times over this last several decades. So again, why sell off? Why give up something that will pay you in the long run? I think it was Sheila who was saying it's a long haul game. You can't think about the short-term gains. You can't think about, I'm gonna get this nice lump sum and I'm gonna be able to live good, and my kids will be able to live good. But what about your grandkids? What about your great-grand? What about your great-great-great-grand? That's the mentality that we lack, that we have to change in order for things to really change, because these problems didn't take a decade or a generation to be messed up. It took a long time, and it's going to take that much longer to try to turn the tides. So the steps and the moves that we make now, we're not necessarily going to see the fruits of that labor, but it's important for us to sow those seeds so that we can have an oak tree 100 years from now that has branches of generations that have prospered off of the moves that we make right now. So and I know a lot of times, and I think a few of us have mentioned, that we get in this place where it gets to feel overwhelming and it gets to feel frustrating, because it's like I'm trying, but I keep facing so much pushback when all I'm trying to do is to help and uplift, and I'm just facing this pushback. But it's the same concept. Why keep going? Well, because of that, because you may get told no 100 times, but the 2 times you get told yes, those are seeds that have been planted that can help to change our community in 100 years from now. So it does suck. It's going to suck. And I'm not one to say anything different. But one thing that Claude Anderson was saying in the original video that we all watched, was about how for the people right now today, we have Black millionaires right now today.
Yeah.
We've got tons of Black millionaires right now today. And it's great that they have their money, and no one's saying that they need to give their entire wealth over. However, every other ethnicity participates in philanthropy. They do. So if you're going to participate in some level of philanthropy, why not participate in a way that rises and uplifts your community? Why go, as he said, all the way to Africa because you want to give back to your roots, but you was born in Texas? Yeah, several generations were here. So why not, create a school in your name? Make sure it has the best of equipment. Make sure it has great teachers. Train those teachers. Help them help themselves. That's an idea. That's something that can be done. That's something that can move that needle further, faster. Because again, we live in a world that does revolve very heavily on money. It does take money to get some things, some balls moving. And a lot of times I feel like people who are at that level, I don't know why they just don't see their community as the thing that really needs. When they know it needs, they came from there. It sucked. They know how hard they had to struggle to get to the point where they're at. So because you had to struggle to get to where you're at, everybody else got to struggle. How that makes sense? No other ethnicity thinks about it in those terms. Every other ethnicity works hard and struggles to provide a roadmap and a path for every other person who comes behind them.
And here's the thing. When they go back and they send the money, or they go to Africa and they make the schools, what they fail to realize is a lot of people who's in Africa, born and raised in Africa, don't look at us as their kin.
Correct.
They don't.
Correct.
And they will tell you, no, you're not like me.
Correct.
Point blank, period.
Correct. And that's my thing. So a lot of times what I've heard for people who say that they don't give back to the Black community, or they don't want to, they move out of the Black community because they feel like it's not appreciated. Well, that sounds like a lot of unappreciation to me. Like, you just spent several millions of dollars and this person is looking at you like, So I don't understand that. Why are we willing to accept negative behavior, negative reactions, and unappreciation or disrespect from any other ethnicity, even if it's a melanated ethnicity? Yet, if any level of unappreciation were to come from our community, it's a reason to never, in any point in time in life, for as long as you walk this earth, to help out somebody else who looks just like you with the story very similar to yours. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy to me. And I think people who have that mindset need to look at their mindset and figure out where that comes from, because that is insanity.
There's another thought that he brought up, Dr. Anderson. I think he's phenomenal, though. He's definitely a phenomenal guy. Check this out, guys. Once we get it together, right, we got these businesses flourishing. Check this out. This is important. What is our code of conduct as Black people in business?
Has that one been created?
Right.
Say it one more time.
Has there been one created?
That's the point right there.
I think to a certain extent there is one. It's an unsaid one. It's that same concept of whiteness as rightness. The code of conduct is that you have to operate. If you want money, you go to a white institution in order to get your money. If you want your business to do well, you put it in a white community in order for it. So that's how we're operating, how we're handling business, that we can't do it within ourselves. I think we need to reestablish our code of conduct and how we handle business, and instead of automatically going to what's most popular. Well, if we're barely in the game, the Black owned business is not going to be the most popular. When I go to get hair products, I pull out my phone and I Google what's Black owned, because I can't just go to what's most popular, and you got to stay up to date with it because so many businesses sell their business because they're looking for that immediate gratification of that paycheck. So I
But
think we need to
this.
reestablish our code of conduct
So
to
think about this. If we
ourselves
all
at
today,
all levels of distribution.
if all black people say today, one weekend out the month, we only gonna spend our money with us. How many business will be created off of that?
Right.
Do you know how much force that will be towards us doing what's right or leaning us up toward the other side? Just
How
doing
many
that.
businesses will be saved off
How
of
many
that
businesses will be
for the
saved?
ones that exist?
You know, I'm listening to the conversation and my mind is like, you know, going. And I really think we're speaking to the survival mindset. We have people who have created millions and billions of dollars, but they're still in survival mode, right? And when they're in survival mode, yeah, they're taking their money over to Africa because that's helping them in survival mode. I can write that off more. I can do this. I also think that we're dealing with this future place. Like, I think that when we come out of these neighborhoods, I do really feel like sincerely these people want to give back to the community, right? But it's always a future place. It's always a future goal. It's not like, what is your plan to do that next year? You know? And when our people come out of our communities, they get groups around them, like publishers and all of these, their team of people. And that team of people don't have their community in mind. They have a community in mind. It's just not the community that you came from. So now their advisors are telling them, hey, we're going to do this because it's going to look good for your image right now. We're going to do this because it's going to look, you know, and this person that's still poverty written in their mindset and still hustle is not thinking for themselves at that time, which is why a lot of our athletes go into the game and then they get broke coming out. You know what I mean? Now, a whole lot of people have made money off of you, but you haven't had a strategic plan for how you were going to retain your wealth, right? And you didn't even get to do the thing you wanted to do back in your community because your advisors, the people around you, didn't have your community at mind, right? When they were developing the plan for your money. And I think we just need to have these conversations with these individuals like, what is your plan for your money and what you want to do? And somebody needs to be advocating for that. And I'm just going to take one person like a LeBron James, no matter what he do in his personal life, like the thing he did when he brought those people in and put his homeboys, this is why he can go back to his community because everybody that he chose, right, came from his community. They had an initiative. We're going to go back to Cleveland, right? And do this thing, right?
Yep.
And, you know, and build the school and build the mental health facility. But his advisors are also from that community. So It's not a debate on what, you know, how many people vote for this and how many people vote for this. And when you got so many people in your pockets and your pockets is paying their dollars and they have lobbyists and other people that they got to account for, if you say I want to build a school, their job is to talk you out of that. So we just need stronger minds, right? Attached to this money, attached to, you know, these individuals that are, you know, millionaires and things like that. And somebody to keep them accountable to their goal personally. Because I do feel like they come out, right, wanting to give back, you know, but it's always just a future place. It's just never immediate.
Can't hear you, Danielle.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Hear you. And I heard you talking earlier, and I'm just like, I don't think I can hear a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, going off of what you said, though, I think exactly what you just described. That's the code of conduct we need to have. That when you reach this level, rather than you trading up the people who helped you get your start, you take those same people from your community, so that you can keep that same, you know, can-do spirit, wanting to help spirit once you do make it. Because, you know, success gives success. So it builds forward momentum. So it's very easy to get lost in the minutia of the success that you have created. But if we as a community were to say, okay, you need to make sure that your publicist comes from your community. You need to make sure that your manager comes from your community. You need to make sure that your money that you're making is being placed into a Black owned institution, and that you have a Black financial money manager. That would be a game changer to how business is done in so many levels, because that Black owned bank, they just I just read a study where they were saying that the Small Business Administration gave 91% less loans to African Americans since 2008, when the housing crash happened.
Oh, wow.
That's including all the money that happened because of COVID. 91% less, even though there was way more money out there. 91% of it, less of it, went to the Black community. There was another story or where I got that from was from a story that was talking about a young lady who had an 813 or something like that credit score, and yet had difficulty refinance. She had difficulty getting her home, even though she had good financial reserves. She had great credit. She had a sustainable, she was an entrepreneur. Her business was doing fairly well. When it came time for her to refinance, it was even more difficult. She was turned down 3 times, even though by all financial standards, she was a prime candidate. Prime candidate. And they said they were denied her because as a business owner, the fact that she took the PPP loan showed that she made bad financial decisions. But are y'all telling that to all of these universities?
Tamika, tell them about it right quick. Tell them what you do, Tamika. Tell them what you do.
See, here's the thing. And see, that was the problem. The PPP loan is going to come back.
Yep.
And it's gonna be trouble for a lot of businesses that took that loan.
Oh, the setup?
It was a setup.
It was. I said that when they first came out with it, because first up, I'm sorry, I'm a pessimist when it comes to the government. Government never does nothing to help nobody.
Nothing.
So when they were giving it out like candy, you know that was, but it's something that now technically they can consider that to be non-discriminatory, because that's not, that can or can't, it depends. But because it was so chaotic at that time, you're going to have a hard time claiming discrimination in a lot of those types of situations. Again, they're not saying that to everyone. She was it was a paycheck protection program. That doesn't mean that you made bad financial. What about Trump with 2 bankruptcies? Did he have issues getting loans? So how does that really make sense? She had to go to a Black owned mortgage company in order for her to refinance her house.
You know what comes up?
Her information didn't change. It was just the eyes who viewed her information had a different outlook on life, and she was able to get it refinanced. And at the time she got her house, at the time when mortgage interest rates were 3%, the best rate she was able to get was 7%, with that same 800 credit score as an entrepreneur. And that was before everything with the payment protection program. So she planned on refinancing, and even when she financed, now they're trying to give her higher than 7%. And interest rates have only gone up to 5 or 6. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's
I think we're speaking to. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Sheila.
Well, I think we're speaking to an issue, right, in human beings. So when we had Trump in office, if we didn't realize that we live in a racially aggravated society,
big old mirror,
so we can talk about these processes in place. Like, yeah, she met all the qualifiers, but was her loan was probably going in the hands of individuals who just don't want you as a Black woman to excel, right? Which is why it's important for us, as back to our first conversation, to create these economic communities, right? And really start to empower our own communities to do things, because sometimes it ain't the system that's broken, it's the people that's responsible for check 1, check 2, check 3, that's like passing it off. And I'm talking about Trump just really showed that, man, we still got a lot of racially motivated individuals that feel like you not supposed to be here, or you are less than me, and a bunch of Karens that's working in these banks and in these things that has the power and authority to say yes or no, to even get it to the hand of the person that it should be in, right? And so that's one issue. The other thing that came up for me in my spirit was the abuser. Like, I don't know if you guys, I grew up in an abusive home, right? And my mom's husband, he actually took her from the family. That was his thing. Like, I'm a isolate you, right, from your family, from your friends, from your people. And this goes back to the conversation we have with these people who come out of our communities that get this money. The team that they're around has that kind of mentality. I want to isolate you from your community, right, and keep you from these people that you're emotionally rooted to, right? Because they can tell you different. They can actually expose my agenda to you. So I'm going to come in with the quote unquote abuser mindset, right? That's what abusers do. They come in and they're abusing you for your money because they want your money to work for them, right? Mm-hmm. They don't want your money to work for your community or your mm-hmm. people. They want it to work for their agenda and what they want. And that's an abusive mindset. And so they take them away from the community and really feed them with a lot of stuff about our community and why you shouldn't reinvest and why you shouldn't buy that land and sit on it for 15 years, right? Because that's the bad investment for you, or we can't see a return. We can do this over here. And so, you know, again, we're talking about mindsets and just people, human beings and their own personal agendas, which goes back to our conversation in the beginning. This is why we need to, as a community, come together and build our own.
Right.
Imagine if we all have a business where we can dedicate maybe 5 or 10% of our earnings for people in our community when they build try to get their business off the ground, right?
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes. Maybe we own a percentage of the business, right? We don't give it to everybody because everybody don't have a great idea about business. But when we run across somebody who got a great idea that can actually employ other people, we become part owners with them. Yeah. Imagine if we did that as a collective. It changed.
Turning point, because LaShay brought up something about having a search for Black owned. Because that's what I've been doing recently. And you know what shocked me is trying to find a Black owned tennis shoe company. Why is this so? Closest one I could find was out of Africa. Wow. Like, if somebody knows one, please tell me. Let me know. But for us to be on so many shoes and affiliate, we have Black owned company. We love shoes. Like, shoes, okay, real estate's a little big, all right. Hair products, easy money, but why don't we have shoes?
Well, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag, right? So one of my things is, right, what I'm working on now, right, is an app to help you be able to spend your money with us.
Yeah.
Right, so you easily pull up wherever you at, pull up the zip code or whatever, it tells you the Black business that's close by.
That's gonna be
my Black-owned business. I love that.
It is a Black-owned shoe company in Texas, though. He just opened up one in the mall.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure one in Atlanta for sure, though. I'm pretty sure one in Atlanta. I think I've seen that before.
He's from Saginaw, but they opened up a shoe place in the mall.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna have to find him. He needs to get on Google. Yeah. we gotta hype him up so people would know, because I mean I like, even when you like Google Black-owned shoe companies, and I was just surprised it wasn't as prolific and widespread, because I think they had some, like casual shoes or like dress shoes. It's a handful, but I was looking for like sneakers, something casual to walk around every day, and I was just, now granted, the ones from Africa were kind of dope, but I was looking a little more local.
I think we get to the point now to where people think that entrepreneurship is something they can actually do now, right? You see a lot of people coming up with different ideas or whatever. I say give it, let's say 10, 15 years down the line, you'll see a lot more entrepreneurs popping up doing a lot more different things. So I would think now try to get ahead of that. If we can help speed up the process, why not do it? If you work for a title company, how can you open up your own title company? Yeah. Why give these people your time and your energy when you don't have to, man? Dave Dash said, he's one of the CEO of Rockefeller. He said, man, I hustle for my last name. But right now, you work for a company. I mean, no wrong work for the company. You got to do what you got to do. Do what you have to do.
Yeah.
But anytime they get tired of you, they'll let you go.
Okay, so the name of the company is Wear My Kicks. WARMYKICKS. Wear My Kicks.
Too easy.
But when you get your business, it can't fire you, right? As long as you do good work, you provide a good service, reasonable rates, or whatever the case is, can't nobody fire you. And that's something you can pass down to your kids, to your grandkids. When you work for a company, you can put 30 years in. You can't say for sure that my daughter's gonna work here for sure. You got to go talk to the boss. Hey man, I worked hard for you guys for 30 years. You think I can get my daughter in? Well, she got to go through the whole interview process just like you did.
Man,
Right?
you speaking of my soul. You speaking of my soul.
Yeah. So you got to keep in mind now. If you're working a full-time job, that's cool, but make sure you mind your business, right? It talks about having your side hustle on the side. Get it to the point to where you can kind of easily walk over to that as a full-time deal and walk away from that 9 to 5, man. So nobody be able to afford you hourly.
Right. And that's one of my that's what one of my business partners said. He says all the time, you want to get to the point where you fire your boss.
Correct.
Okay.
You want to get to the point where you fire your boss, because see, what people don't understand, and that's what I try to explain to my clients. It's okay with getting, the benefits from the company, but when the company says today's your last day, or when the company says, hey, we gotta lay off, or when they say, or when you say you're done with the company, your benefits stop that day.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That day. So if you got life insurance with the company now, and you don't have your own life insurance plan that you own,
you got 30 days.
you got 30 days. But here's the thing, Jay, with some companies, you don't have 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got 30
that
days.
day.
Wow.
It ends that day when they walk you out the door.
Yep.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yes.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
It ends that day. And what they and I meet so many clients that say, "Oh, I got it on my job. Oh, I got it on my job. Oh, I got it on my job." And it's like, no.
They don't even know what you just told me. They don't know that. I had never heard that before.
No, you need something outside of your job that you own, because it is so many companies, big and small, that have a group plan, and you pay into it because it's so small. You be like, oh, my premium just such and such, and I got a $2 million policy or whatever. However, if that company is facing a financial struggle, they can cancel that group policy, don't say nothing to you, and steady be pulling your payments, and you don't even know that you don't have any insurance anymore.
Wow.
Okay.
I remember when I first built my business, it was on this idea because I was in healthcare and I wanted to buy this land, right off of 75, Jay. It was like, the Fort Saginaw Mall. And I'm like, I want to build this institution, right, where you can do your therapy, because I was always I like to practice. Y'all remember the show The Practice, right? Where you have everybody and they work together. But it also was this idea of bringing in other entrepreneurs. So because I've always had to buy my own health insurance, and I worked for a company. So I realized, like, man, if we can get a group discount, right? So if we can get entrepreneurs to pool in together in some type of conglomerate and say, now we're offering, 100 entrepreneurs, what kind of deal can you give us? Or 200 or 500 entrepreneurs, what kind of deal can you give us? Because it was just always an idea, like the more people we can pull together, the better we can stretch our resources. And to sell that to an entrepreneur, to say, hey, come in with me so we can pool our, resources or just our power together. And then we can have a person actually pitch, our monies to these different companies. So now we're paying less for our life insurance, our health insurance, go off car insurance or whatever, but we can create the same type of infrastructure that's created, you know, in our jobs, like you say, in corporate America, because that's what they doing. They saying, hey, I got 1,000 employees over here. I got, you know, 2,000, 3,000, 100 employees. What package is going to give my employees, right? And then employees pay, but they're leveraging the employees to get those type of benefits. And again, when we start talking about the mindset, I think a lot of individuals have Danielle and I talked about this, an employee mindset, right? Like just the whole idea of even starting a business or having a hustle, you got to switch your mindset to more efficiency, thinking about cost of things, thinking about, you know, buying in bulk and how, you know, and how can I save most of my money, and whatever you want to do with that money you save, hopefully it's reinvesting into, you know, other avenues. But we just don't think like that. We think I'm gonna make my money and this my money. I remember I had to tell a hairdresser one day, because her ROI, well, she only paid $1, right? For each client that she did their hair, she already had the comb, she already had the thread, right? So when we took like her products, it was like for every $100 she made, you know, she was only paying $1 for her overhead cost. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but you know that $99 ain't yours, right? Like you taking a whole $99 like this my money, and it's not, because you got to pay taxes on that money, right? Mm-hmm. Right. You bring in a person to make your appointments. You got to pay out that money. You got a lease that you got to pay out that money, right? So how do you break this $99 down and think about and not go in like, oh, I need to, my next 3 heads is going to pay that. Like, no, you need to be looking at all your clients, and a percentage of each one of your clients is paying towards your rent, towards your, you know what I mean? Yeah. And just that concept was like, oh yeah, well, I ain't think about it like that. And then on her taxes, like she's only claiming like $16,000. But in this, now you can't get a car, now you can't get a house, now you can't do nothing because you don't have no business savvy. Like you making money in your business that you don't really know, and it's just no process is set up. But again, that's the employee. So you acting like the employee, like I'm just gonna take $99. You know what I mean? You live big and then pay the bills as they come. And it's like, but you are the employer. You are the head of your business.
They still in side hustle mode.
Right.
Side hustle mode.
Right. And Miss Sheila, to your point, you are like so right. Right now, we have a special. Now, and this is going to sound so crazy because it's crazy to me. We're running a little special, and today is the last day to where normally it costs $124 for you to get with us. Because if you do it on your own, it'll run you about $400 or $500 to get your insurance producer license in your state. Okay, on your own. With us, it'll cost you $124. Okay, and right now we're running a special to where you can get that for half price, $64. Okay, that $64 includes your licensing fees that go to the state that you live in. Okay, it includes your POL system for you to be able to run your business through your cell phone, your computer, your laptop, whatever you have, device you have. It also includes your background check. I have from July 1st up until yesterday, I have been posting on my page like crazy. Nothing but, looking. I'm doing open interviews, looking for people. You want to be an entrepreneur, break the chain, break the cycle, join me in business. You can do it part-time. You can do it from your home. You get paid 6 days a week. Okay. You can even, not only do we do life insurance, but we have rentals insurance, home insurance, mortgage insurance, Vivid. We sponsor with Vivid. We have senior health care, small business insurance, a variety of products. And the income is unlimited. Okay. We have a young man in the business, been in the business 3 years. He's 22. Yes, 22. He just went over $50,000. By the end of this year, he'll probably be at $100,000.
Mhm.
It's unlimited. And you can, and once you take your home state license, you don't have to test to take another state license. Only thing you have to do is go on your computer and pay your fees for whatever other state that you want.
Wow, that's pretty dope.
The test ain't hard. I know exactly what you're talking about, Tamika. The test ain't hard.
The test ain't hard.
Mm.
Why they don't want to do it?
No, they think it's a scam.
But how can you be a? It's
Yeah, I know exactly what you talk about, and people think it's a scam, and it's funny because that's one of the few things that I truly believe in. I ain't gonna go into it, but when people say, "Oh, it's a scam," that is the quickest indicator of their business savvy, because to say those words, like they think things are too good to be true. Why do you think this is a scam, even though there's literally more millionaires from this business proven? But when I tell you you can make $1 million doing this, no, that's too good to be true. Yeah, if you have that mindset, if you put that wall in front of you, yes, you can. You won't make it.
And it's amazing to me that, and then I tell you, and I say, you know what? I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna knock your fees up. I'm gonna pay your licensing fees. Okay.
Okay.
All you do is pay $25 for your program to run, so you'll be able to work, have it on your cell phone or your laptop. They either don't have the $25 or I don't know. Let me think about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, but didn't you just say that you just put up a post? Oh, I need some extra money.
Okay.
My baby daddy just went to jail. I need some extra money. Well, here it is. It's right in front of your face.
You gotta get it.
The mentality, they always want to be the employee. Mm-hmm. You make your own schedule. No one is telling you to clock in and clock out. It's up to you. You leave once I pass away, this goes to my husband and my kids. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, what's hard about it? What do you have to think about? Mm-hmm. I don't understand. And then you don't even want to get a policy to insure your family. Mm-hmm. But you okay to start a GoFundMe?
Mm-hmm. Oh, don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that.
Again, I think it's the employee mindset. It's the fear of rejection. It's the possibilities.
There's so many blocks we put up in front of ourselves, and then it's that defense mechanism when somebody tries to call you out. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. But you got to be able to take a step back, and like you said, well, if you need this, how hard do you want to go get it? It's not going to be handed to you. Nothing is going to be handed to you in this country.
Well, I applaud you for doing it and even getting out there and really talking about the importance of insurance in any facet, right? That's important, and just your desire to get more people in so that they can have that freedom, right, to make their own schedule. But believe it or not, it's intimidating, right? It requires a lot of discipline, and you do. It's like an exposing type of thing. And, and I do think a lot of it has to do with the unbelievable, right? So you telling me I can make however much money I want to make, and and all I got to do is what now,
And it's not trusting yourself, because I know exactly what you're talking about. I was given that opportunity many years ago, but I wasn't in the right mindset and I wasn't in the right place. But I was lucky to take advantage of the product. Like, I was smart enough to recognize, okay, these are very good. At least I'm going to get the product. Mm-hmm. And that product changed my life. I was able to buy my house with money I had put aside in my IRA. I have a sense of security because I have an amazing life insurance policy. And now Tamika signed up like this month with that special, because I'm gonna go back to okay, let's get it
Right.
because it's a valuable layer in it, and I'm using it as a business layer.
Yeah.
Like where it's like, okay, this doesn't have to be the only thing you do, but why not have an option? $25 a month. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
So, but people, like you said, for me to offer this opportunity, is we just got to get the education out there.
Yeah.
Is it like people locked up in their mind? They don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I guess being an entrepreneur is not for everybody, right? But you got to have that right mindset, man. And doing what you're doing, putting it out there, man, some people will jump on it and run with it, and you'll change their life. You just can't do it. You can't, everybody's not going to get it, unfortunately. Yeah. It was crazy when I was offering the same product that I offer now, right, for wholesaling, right, for fractions of it on a dollar, right? And I had a guy, I remember one time talking to him, and he asked me, he said, man, why is it so cheap, man? I'm like, man, I'm just basically trying to get it out to the people, man, change people's lives, whatever the case is. And he didn't buy it. He told me it was too cheap. At that moment, when I hung the phone up, my price went up 5 times.
Amen, brother.
Right then and there.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yeah, exactly. And one dude called me up. He didn't even ask me what the price was. He said, send me the invoice. He was ready. You know what I'm saying? The guy wasn't ready. It's crazy, man. I don't understand. I don't get it. So now, what is it? One more time, you say, what is it you do again?
Who, for me?
Yes.
Life insurance.
Okay.
Financial
insurance as well?
Yeah, financial services. Homeowners insurance.
Wow.
Rentals insurance. Anything dealing with financial. RAs, investments, mutual funds, 401ks. All of it.
Dope. You definitely need it. Definitely need it.
Yeah. So anything up under the financial services umbrella.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. Well, I gotta jump off. I gotta Zoom. I gotta log on to.
Absolutely.
I'll contact you, LaShay. Tamika. And
okay, no problem.
On the back end of this, I want to get in contact with you.
She was from Saginaw as well.
Oh, okay.
How do I get in contact with you?
618.
You want to put your phone number on there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ask her about her services.
520
618-520
1631.
1631.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Listen, man, this has been great. I told you I lost the rest of my questions, so y'all got something to add?
It was a great conversation.
LaShay had your back.
Yeah, she was swinging. So it worked out. It definitely worked out, man. I was like, I lose my questions. I'm like, man, where's my questions at? But it kind of worked out. So, but
great video. Did you post that video in the group for everybody?
Yes, I did. Which one's about the one you did yesterday or this?
The Powernamics one.
You know what? Actually, I emailed it to everybody. So I didn't post it in the group.
No, I'm saying in the mid city.
No, I just emailed it to everybody. I didn't post it in there. I don't think I did.
That in the group.
Yeah, I don't think I did. I will though for sure.
That's a good.
Yeah, I think that conversation it was a lot of stuff he talked about, and I've listened to him a few times. My goal is to look up his book on audio book or whatever, and kind of read it while I'm rolling or whatever. But he hit a lot of points. I'm like, man. Never thought about it this way. Never thought. I just kept saying, I said, you know what? Let me just push this out to everybody to see what everybody think about it. So, and I can tell by the conversation, it was rolling. So, so I really appreciate you guys coming on, man. I know y'all must be tired. Y'all doing back-to-back shows. Y'all gonna be on the road in a minute.
I'm like, I'm gonna change my schedule. I was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm like, maybe I'm gonna change my schedule to Wednesday, Friday, just to kind of prepare my mornings for it.
Absolutely. So tell everybody what you guys got going on, and tell us a little bit. Well, we already told you a little bit about you. Tell us what kind of special you guys got going on, what you guys got coming up in the future, all that good stuff. Social media handles, all that.
Well, I'm Sheila, social media handle. I am Shaping Solutions. You know, we have the Shaping Solutions podcast that air at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Shaping Solutions, how to elevate in life. And what is life, Danielle? You remember?
Look, man,
Love
I
self,
don't. Cause there you go.
interactions with others, focus and
Interact.
energy. And we
Yes.
just have candid conversations just about life. I think as entrepreneurs, you know, we talked a lot about it in this show, right? Mindset matters. And it's a lot of areas in our personal life that's preventing us from really accelerating in our business lives. And so the goal on that show is to talk about the personal, just life, you know, relationships, interactions, you know, and hopefully so you can elevate and really overcome some of your obstacles, right?
And I think it really ties back to, that's why I was like smiling the whole time, because that's why I'm doing the podcast, you know, because all of these things that we talked about today about that, you know, she kept saying, it's the mindset. It's the mindset. Why don't we want to help each other? Why do we always ask for a discount? Why do we always do this? Why? The first step is confronting that, you know, looking at that harsh reality, looking at all your traumas and, like you said, your projections, and why don't you want to work with this person? Why aren't you willing to accept free help? Why aren't you willing to try a business that's proven or invest in a proven thing just because, you know, why do I have to validate my intelligence? And, you know, I got to prove to you that all this other stuff. I said to somebody today, Albert Einstein was a genius before everybody knew he was a genius. You know, he had to validate himself, you know, but I see that with businesses. Why do we have to wait for a business to be established to support it? Go in early. Get in early before the prices go up, like you just said, because if that business gets rolling, I'm trying to find all the small businesses to support while the prices is low.
Absolutely.
Get them going and whatnot, because yesterday's price is not tomorrow's price. So,
Absolutely.
but to have that mentality of, I want to support somebody in the beginning, not, they ain't got this, they ain't got that. Give them a chance, because you never know who the next Albert Einstein is, you know.
Right. Or who the next tech company finna be. And
okay.
And you know, how do we invest? I always say this: our community has a plethora of experiences and a plethora of talent and abilities that, you know, it ain't even always your dollar that could support a business. It's also your insight. It's your intellect. Like, you know, I'm really good at this. Like, I want to come in and help you, you know, build the back of your business, or set your accounts receivables up, or, you know, help you. I see you got this marketing thing. Let me come in and talk to you a little bit about that. Now, if you want me to manage it, that's going to cost me, right? But we can donate so much of our gift, right, to these small businesses to help them sustain and become better. And I'm always giving it like a mindset, talking, helping with processes and structures. Like, I give that away every day, all day, right? If that's going to help you in a return. Now, to sustain that relationship, now you're gonna pay for it. But you know, we have so much to offer, you know, outside of our dollars, and our support. We have our talent and our abilities too. And sometimes we can donate that time. Like, hey, I want to come answer your phones one day. You know, I don't got no time. You know, just there's so much that we can offer our businesses, our business community, our entrepreneurs out there, that's outside of our dollars, that can be associated with our time and you know, our abilities. So just get perspective.
The basic is share information. When you learn something, to me, and it's because I think we talked about this at TZ, you know, like button, subscribe, share. But no, that's what you need to do. Just like how you sent us that video. As simple as share something that you just learned. Like, I've been doing a lot of that lately. It's like, fine, you don't want to listen to me? Here's a video of, you know, with a bunch of views. Listen to that. You know, it's a very well played argument, or they're saying something that I hope will help you unlock something. You know, they're posing it in a language. I think, you know, if you have somebody that you think, okay, they don't listen to me, YouTube, everybody on YouTube, you know, Eric Thomas may be their thing, or maybe Steve Harvey may be their thing, but what is going to be that thing that pushes them where it's like into that reflection mode that will unblock all of the the roadblocks that they've placed in front of themselves. Like, it starts with, to me, everything we talked about, it just starts at education and the knowledge sharing, because it's not about our capability. It's not that we're not able to execute, but if we don't know what we're supposed to execute, we cannot execute it.
Facts.
So you have to share the knowledge, even as simple as sharing this podcast with somebody, sharing these videos with somebody. Like, hey, I heard them talking about something. What do you think? Start the conversation.
Yeah.
It starts there.
Yeah. And that's the reason for the podcast, for the whole network. Like, everybody on it, one of the questions I asked them, man, do you have the heart of a teacher? Right? Simple as that, man. You got so many people who have that information, man, who don't want to dispense it, man, and we suffer behind it. I'm not asking people to give their whole blueprint of everything that they're doing or whatever the case is, or that proprietary stuff. No, but give some information to these people, man, so they can see what they don't know, or they, what I'm saying, give them something. And what happens is, what I've learned by you doing that, people see kind of your heart. You know what I'm saying? And they want to work with you. Man, you know what? I like what she said. That makes sense. Let me call her up. Now, and all of a sudden, now you got business. You know what I'm saying? It helps you as well, and you continue to do that. So right now, it's a pebble dropped in the ocean, right? And in a little while, it's gonna be so huge, and knock some water out the ocean. So slowly but surely, we slowly cooking it up.
Right.
So, and I appreciate you guys, man. Really do.
Appreciate you, Jay. Thank you.
All right.
Jay, the engineer.
Another one in the book.
Engineer, producer, enginener extraordinaire.
Right.
Now listen. Okay, I know we're going. Well, I'm gonna do it live, right? So when we first did this, right? There was so much stuff going on. I couldn't do. I felt good about myself doing it this time, though. So it worked out. So now next week's gonna be trash. So I'm letting you know it's gonna be trash next week. Do me a favor. Go on the Facebook group and go off on every brother that's on there. They all supposed to be on here. You know what I'm saying? Do me a favor, do that. Or see them on Facebook.
No, we ain't gonna get accused of bashing. You do that. You go hold your brother's account.
But they need to hear you. They need to hear you. So, but I know they're busy though. I know everybody got a lot of stuff going on. So
ain't that busy.
They ain't that busy though. All right. Hey,
you make time for what you want to make time for.
That's facts. That's big facts. That's big facts. So you guys have a great one now. Thanks again. And go kill the rest of the week. All right?
Got you. All right. Bye.
MCA Back Office aims to help real estate wholesalers who have their 9-to-5 jobs, those who are busy with their businesses or family responsibilities, and even help students. MCA Back Office gives you leads, research comps, calculate offers for you. Basically, MCA be your back office. You can find them on Facebook. Just search MCA Back Office.